Well, hello, everyone. Hello, this is Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. This is our breaking news. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, they have touched down in the UK. They are in the UK right now. They will be meeting with the Prime Minister of the UK and other diplomats there. Also in breaking news, the House of Representatives has just passed Byron Donalds' DC crimes. We'll put up the slide. Congressman Byron Donalds is running for governor of the state of Florida. DC Crimes Act mandating every criminal over the age of 18 be charged as an adult. The disgusting thing is that you weren't charged as an adult until the age of 24. This is something that should have been implemented when you turn 18. You're considered an adult. You should be charged as an adult. And now every state should be implementing and doing this. Also in breaking news tonight, dealing with Charlie Kirk's killer, Tyler Robinson, moron, lunatic, left-wing activist. He's been charged with 7 crimes and the death penalty. As you know, in the state of Utah, they believe in the death penalty. They also believe in a firing squad. A lot of people have called for a firing squad. Let the American people see this man executed in front of the country and the world, as we all saw Charlie Kirk being murdered and shot in cold blood, with everyone to see. Everyone saw it. I saw it. We all saw it, either live or we saw it post-live. Count number 1, aggravated murder. Count number 2, felony reckless discharge of a firearm causing bodily injury. Count number 3, obstruction of justice, hiding the firearm. Count number 4, obstruction of justice for discarding the clothing he wore during the shooting. He actually changed clothing after he shot Charlie Kirk. Count number 5, witness tampering for asking his roommate, who became his lover, his trans roommate lover, who is a man who is transitioning into a woman, which is still a man, to delete incriminating messages. Count number 6, witness tampering, witness tampering for demanding his roommate, his lover, to stay quiet and not speak to the police. And count number 7, commission of a violent offense in the presence of a child. Also breaking news, the FBI has released text messages between Tyler Robinson and his trans lover. In the text messages, Tyler Robinson revealed that he killed Charlie Kirk. He revealed that he used his father's rifle and there was things written on the rifle. He also revealed that he should have hid the rifle a little bit better. He was nervous that the news outlets were going to pick it up. In the text messages, he also revealed that he did change the clothing. In the text messages, he also told his trans lover that he didn't want his trans lover talking to the police and didn't want any communication. He told his trans lover to delete all of these text messages because he didn't want any evidence to be shown that he was texting his lover about this. And also he talked about how Charlie Kirk is MAGA and he doesn't like what he has to say and he doesn't like what he says about the LGBTQ community. This was a guy that was radicalized by the left, by the fake news, by the mainstream media, by Obama, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris. His father said that he was conservative, and then all of a sudden he changed. Tyler Robinson also admitted that his father was a MAGA guy and that he didn't like it. And we see that with the trans movement, we see with all these other movements, that it's really affecting the youth. And as we see in schools with the gender identity and the CRT curriculum, it really screws up an individual. As you know, the schools come for our children first, including the school boards. The school boards are very liberal. The superintendents are liberal. The principals are liberal. And of course, the more liberal the state and the county is, the more liberal your child is going to grow up and become. That's why a lot of people are afraid to put their children into public schools. They would prefer that their children be homeschooled. My sister's 3 children are homeschooled. And you know what? They're doing great. They are very learned. They have straight A's. And you know what? They don't have to deal with bullying and they don't have to deal with the liberal curriculum and liberal wokeism in school. So really think about it, parents. Really think about it if you really want your child to be in public school. As you know, TikTok and other social media outlets are a proponent for pushing the transgender movement, the things that the trans people say. Also, they push a lot of pro-Hamas rallies, anti-Semitic rallies. This kid was anti-Semitic, clearly anti-Semitic. And he showed it on his text messages. He showed it in some of his posts that he put out. And also he wrote some anti-Semitic things and left-wing things on the rifle. What happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific. Nobody in this world knows, unless you have a family that's been assassinated or through politics or whatever, what Erica Kirk is going through right now. Her riveting video about how she spoke about her husband, how she said that she will carry on the Turning Point name, how Turning Point will not die, how there will be AmpFests and festivals for Turning Point. As a result of her video, 37,000 young people have already signed up to join Turning Point and also to add new chapters all over this country. And we'll talk about later how there's so many vigils for Charlie Kirk all over this country and how people are making a difference. But the American people, they want to see the death penalty, but they really want to see a firing squad. They want to see this young boy put on display for the country and the world to see, and let people with guns shoot this guy in the head or in the neck or in the body or whatever they do and make a display out of him, because that's what he did to Charlie Kirk. Also, the father of Tyler Robinson refused the $1.15 million reward money. As you know, the FBI offered anybody who knew about the suspect or brought the suspect to the FBI $100,000. There was other people that added to that amount. It became $150,000, but they rewarded the father $1.15 million for giving up his son. And his father is in law enforcement. No father wants to go through with this. No father wants to do what he had to do. But his father is a law enforcement officer upholding the rule of law. And he knows what his son did was wrong. He turned himself in when his son confessed. When he found out it was his son, of course, he was probably devastated. But he did the proper thing as a father. It shows the integrity of his father. It shows that his father doesn't put up with this, regardless if it's a son or not. It's harder that it's his son. It's hard. But he had to do this. And the FBI had substantial evidence to show that his son did this. And what does the father want to do with the money? He wants to give the money to the Kirk family, which is very honorable. And there we have the meme for it by Turnbull Brockmeyer Law Group, who's been advocating for justice. They also promote and push a lot of the political things that are going on because they are attorneys and they know the rule of law. So we thank Turnbull Brockmeyer Law Group for posting about this. They post about all political stuff. They post about all the political stuff that's going on, not just in Maryland, but all over the country. But again, what compelled this young man to do this? Why would he do this? This was a planned attack. In the text messages, Tyler Robinson admitted that he planned this for a week. Also, we're finding out that Tyler Robinson received $50,000 from a Democrat group, Justice for Democrats, which gave money to AOC, promoted her to run for Congress. We're also finding out that the roommate, the trans lover, received $20,000 from a Democrat group. There will be investigations oncoming to see how many Democrat groups were involved. As you know, President Trump, he called out George Soros and his son Alex Soros because they promote BLM. They promote all of these groups, these pro-Hamas groups. They promote Act Blue. And they push a lot of money to people to protest against President Trump, against Israel, against Jewish people, against Christians. President Trump talked about the RICO Act against George Soros, enacting the RICO Act. George Soros needs to go to jail or worse. So does his son. They're evil people, very evil people. And I believe, this is my own opinion, I believe that George Soros had a lot to do with Charlie Kirk's death. I believe that this man, that Tyler Robinson, was paid by a Democratic group that George Soros was affiliated with or formed and funded. And that will come out with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and others. Also, breaking news, Kash Patel was in front of the House of Representatives today. He had a hearing, and man, did he call out, or no, I'm sorry, not the House of Representatives. I take that back, the Senate. He was in front of the senators today, the Senate Judiciary Committee. Man, did he take down Adam Schiff today? Man, did he take out Dick Durbin and called out Senator Hirozen from Hawaii. He called out all these Democrat lawmakers that are liars. They're the reasons why this crap happens. These Democrats allowed people to talk ill about President Trump for 10 years. President Trump took all these blows and all these hits and all these jabs, and people threatened his life and nothing happened to them. It's disgusting. Anybody who talks illy about the President of the United States or wishes death on him and his children should be held accountable. Anybody that talks ill about any public figure, political figure, needs to be held accountable. Myself, I'm a public figure. I'm a conservative media podcaster. There was a young boy who asked President Trump today, are you concerned for media podcasters and conservatives in the media? And he said, I wouldn't be concerned. You got to be loud and proud and live your life. He said, technically, I shouldn't be speaking to you because it puts him at risk every time he goes on that tarmac and talks to people. It puts him at risk every time he goes to a ball game, every time he steps out of the White House. Something could happen to him inside the White House. But the message is you have to live your life, and that we're all Charlie Kirks, and that we all have to speak up and speak louder. These lunatics want our voices to be silenced. I said on Facebook, and I say to you today, I will not be silenced. I will not allow left-wing Antifa, left-wing lunatics to silence my voice. I have no fear. I have Hashem on my side, and that is what's important. And Charlie Kirk had God on his side too. That's why he accomplished so much in his 31 years of life. Even though his life was taken away so short, man, did he accomplish a lot. And he is an inspiration to all young people to get up off your ass and do something. And don't sit on your butt and bitch and complain. He was a God-fearing man. He was a spiritual man. He was a wonderful husband and a loving father to his two children. They didn't just take away a good voice. They took away a family man. They took a man away from his family forever. His wife is distraught. She can't sleep. She can't eat. I feel for her. I feel for her children that will never really know their father or grow up with him, but they will have his words, his videos, his legacy. His wife will continue to keep his legacy alive. And he will be there in spirit with her every single step of the way. She has to be strong for her children. She has to be strong for the movement that her husband created. Only she can take the movement and make it big. Only she can fulfill her husband's shoes or be in her husband's shoes. But it's very important, guys, that we all become Charlie Kirks, that we all form Turning Point USA chapters all over this country, and that we all keep his name in our hearts. I applaud the football players and the owners of the football teams for honoring Charlie Kirk in every single Sunday game. There's a lot of football players and a lot of professional athletes that are donating money to the Kirk family. A lot of famous people that never even knew Charlie Kirk are donating to the Kirk family. I go to Starbucks now, people that never knew who Charlie Kirk was, they're all listening to his videos. And I'll be honest, I didn't listen to all of his videos, but now I am, and I'm sharing them and reposting them on Facebook and X every single day. And that's what you guys need to do. Keep his legacy on. And that's our breaking news going into segment 1 now. So segment 1 is the continuation of Charlie Kirk and his legacy. I call it Debate Dies with a Bullet, because all he did was debate people honestly and truthfully. And he did not scream and argue and shut people's ideas down. He reasoned with them. He wanted to hear people's ideas. That's why he brought everything alive up to his mic. And he would do these events for 2 to 4 hours, just listening to people. He would give people the opportunity to challenge him, to debate him. And at the end of the day, they came up with a happy medium. At the end of the day, some of these people would even give him a hug. But if you really hear what he has to say, what he said made sense about marriage, about love, about family, about life, about Christ, about religion. It all makes sense. And let me tell you something. When he got married and started having a family, he became a different person too. I saw the change in maturity of the man and how his wife made him a better person. how because of his wife's devoutness to Christianity and her devoutness to him, he became her servant. He used to say to her after a long day, "How can I serve you?" When he had stress from his work day, when he had stress in his life, he still remembered her because she didn't really work when she married him. She didn't have to work. Guy had a lot of money. The guy bought like almost $1 million home in Sarasota, Florida, next to next to one of my congressmen, Vern Buchanan and Lido Key. He had like an $865,000 property right next to Congressman Vern Buchanan. The guy had tremendous properties. And she owned her own company too in New York, a clothing company. And all the money went to homeless people. Great cause. She still owns it to this day. But he didn't, when they got married, she didn't have to continue working like a dog. He was okay with her being a stay-at-home mom. Because being a stay-at-home mom, and people don't know this, is one of the hardest jobs. You're dedicating yourself to your children. You're keeping the home kosher and clean. You're keeping everything together in the home. And when your husband comes home from a long day of work, you are there to comfort him. But he is also there to serve you and to thank you for serving him food, for taking care of your children all day while he goes out and makes the bread. He believed in those traditional values. Like if you ever saw the show Fiddler on the Roof, who day and night must scramble for a living, feed his wife and children, say his daily prayers. And who has the right as master of the house to have the final word at home? And what is the role of the mom? Who must know the way to make a proper home, a quiet home, a clean, or quote, when you're talking about Judaism, it's a kosher home, who must raise a family and run the home while Papa's free to read the holy book. Tradition. That's what he believed in. A 28-year-old man believed this. There's guys in his generation that do not believe this. There's guys that are 40 that don't understand this. They want to split everything 50-50. That is not a marriage. That is not a relationship. Don't split things 50-50. You don't have contractual marriages. A marriage should be based on love. A marriage should be based on true love. You shouldn't ask your spouse for conditions before marriage. And you should honor your spouse. It says in the Jewish ketubah that you are supposed to give yourself to your spouse. You're supposed to pleasure them. You're supposed to please them. Your wife, specifically in the Jewish ketubah, it talks about taking care and pleasing your wife, especially if she stays at home. But to have contracts in a marriage, legalities before you get married, unless you're a billionaire or you've been married 3 times, you do not ask that of a woman. You go into a marriage with true love. You go into the marriage not with the idea that you're going to get divorced. You go into the marriage with the idea you're going to get married, have kids, and live happily ever after. And of course, if there's issues in the marriage, like if God forbid there's adultery, or the man hits the woman, or vice versa, or the spouse tries to kill you, yeah, then you get rid of their asses. That's a whole other ball game. But when you go into a marriage, and I don't think Charlie Kirk and his wife had a prenup. When you go into a marriage, it is true love, because you are focused of uniting yourselves together, making a bond, a marriage making a bond with yourself, a marriage based on love. And when you add children to the mix, it is love. You see the real love that Charlie Kirk and his wife had. That love really doesn't exist. I encourage young people now to have that love, to marry that person if you really truly love them, without any contractual contingencies in that relationship. I'm telling you, your marriage will be better for it. My father has been in the financial industry for 50 years. He knows every single marriage, every single client that he has, their marriages are not contractual marriages, no legality marriages. And guess what? Those marriages have thrived. You get married and you grow a life together. You do not get married. And God forbid if the wife says something or if the husband says something, it's goodbye. especially if there's nothing in if you're sacrificing your life and moving to where somebody else lives and you don't have your name isn't on a deed to the house. They divorced you. You're homeless. You have nothing. And you're penniless also. Marriage should not be this hard. No contractuals. You get married, you have kids, you fall in love. That's what Charlie Kirk said. And he's so right. And he also said, if you go on a date with a person, if you're a guy and you don't pay on the first date, there's something wrong with you. No Dutch shit. And he's right. And this is coming from a 25-year-old. As we say in Yiddish, a pishaka, a kid who pisses, a little pishaka. A pishaka is a pishaka guy, Charlie Kirk, knew about marriage and the fundamentals of marriage. He understood it. I want everybody to understand that too. But now we have to look into the killer. We have to look into the person that killed Charlie Kirk, and why did he do it? Let's put up the first slide. So Charlie Kirk's alleged assassin lived with a transgender partner, this guy Logan, who is now cooperating with the FBI. We're fine. Like I said earlier in my breaking news, Tyler Robinson got $50,000 to kill Charlie Kirk. His transgender roommate lover got $20,000. You know what the sick part was today? Is that this ABC News mainstream media reporter, he said, oh my God, you should read the text messages and hear the sincerity. As Tyler Robinson said, he loved the transgender roommate. He loved him. This is sick. You can see the love between them. His lover is actually cooperating with the FBI. He doesn't want to end up in jail. If he loved him so much, he wouldn't have done this. He wouldn't have got him involved. By telling him what he did, he got him involved. The transgender roommate shouldn't have taken 20 grand. That was a shut up money. Disgusting. Totally disgusting. Second slide, Alex Bruzewitz. So Alex Bruzewitz is a good friend to Charlie Kirk. He works with Charlie Kirk. He's a good friend to Erica Kirk. He said, a left-wing violent extremist killed my friend because he listened to people like Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, Barack Hussein Obama, Adam Shifty Schiff, Adam Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, and every other Democrat in the country say such hateful things about Trump Republicans for the last 10 years. Charlie's blood is on their hands. It's true. It's very true. I want to say a shout out to my friend, State Senator Doug Mastriano. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you so much for everything that you do. And I appreciated being at your event on Friday night in Pennsylvania at Independence Hall. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you, State Senator, for giving me a voice and allowing me to sing again. My friend Donald Willinger, thank you so much for joining our program. My friend Donald is always on our program. He's great. He says, as a Jew, I think of Charlie as a righteous Gentile. Gentile in Yiddish means non-Jew, means Christian. And he was righteous. They say in the Torah, the righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. They shall thrive like the cedars of Lebanon, granted in the houses of the Lord. They will flourish in the courts of our God. They will yield fruit even in old age. They will remain vital and vigorous. And it's true. Hashem wrote these words, beautiful words in the Torah. We say it on Friday night service. It's right. It's written right in the books, right in the 5 books of Moses. But again, for 10 years, these rhino Republicans, which I've always said, rhino Republicans and socialist Democrats are detriments to our nation. It's the truth. They're not good people. They really hurt people like Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, and others. They come after good people. They come after people that have a voice and a name. That's why it's really important that we call out these idiots, that we don't allow Democrats and rhino Republicans to dictate our voices and to take our voices away from us. It's very important. I'm disgusted by this whole thing. I'm disgusted that Charlie Kirk had to die at the hands of this this left-wing lunatic. As I said last week, Charlie Kirk did not have to die. Not at all. And we go into the third meme, or the third slide. So this was a meme that I saw on X with a picture of Charlie Kirk with Jesus behind him. And it says, Democrats did this by consistently calling Americans fascist, racist threats to democracy. And it's the truth. Now, we don't live in a democracy. We live in a constitutional republic. But that's the truth. That is the truth. The Democrats, and again, rhino Republicans, they did this. And there was no repercussions. They did this for 4 years under Biden. And under Obama, they did it too. I've been called such heinous things. And as a Jewish woman, I'm heavily targeted because of my Judaism. But if you think I'm not going to stand up for what I believe in, I'm not going to defend myself and my right to exist, then you don't know me very well. I wear my Jewish star with pride. I have a custom-made dress with an Israeli flag draped on the front of my body. I will wear it with pride. I have an American flag dress, a MAGA dress. I wear that with pride. You're not going to scare me, guys. You left-wing lunatics are not going to scare me. I've worked too damn hard to bring the truth. You want us to be scared. You want us to freak out and be silenced. If we're silenced, then the work doesn't get done. Like Erica said, you have no idea what you have done, what you have awoken. The movement was big and strong, and now it's only getting bigger. As I said in my breaking news, 37,000 people have applied to have Turning Point USA chapters across their universities and even high schools across this country. I'm working with Turning Point USA, Towson, Maryland. I've worked with Turning Point USA across this country in Florida, Texas, Oklahoma, Arizona, Nevada. Arizona is its headquarters. There will be a memorial service in Arizona for Charlie Kirk on September 21st, which is this Sunday. President Trump was invited. He said he will be attending. One thing that J.D. Vance talked about when he hosted Charlie Kirk's show the other day is that when Erica Kirk was meeting his wife Usha, because they carried his body on Air Force Two, Erica said to Usha, what do I tell my kids? What do I tell my 3-year-old daughter, my 1-year-old son? What do I say to them? How do I look them in the eye and tell them that their father's not alive and he was murdered and he's no longer coming back? Those are the hardest things that Erica has to say to her children. And J.D. Vance has young kids. J.D. Vance is the vice president. He's heavily targeted, I'm sure. I'm sure there's targets on his back. So, and his wife too. And as you know, Donald Trump has had multiple death threats against him. He had 2 assassination attempts. It's horrible. Erica had to tell her 3-year-old that her husband is taking a tour to Jesus so he can pay for her blueberry budget. To go through that, I can't imagine what she's going through. But I hope that this trial doesn't get dragged with this guy, Tyler Robinson. I hope that they throw the book at him very soon. I hope that they do decide to do a firing squad and not the death penalty. Or I'm sorry, they can do the death penalty, but not lethal injection. Let them have the firing squad. Let the American people see Tyler Robinson die the same way that Charlie Kirk died, shot to the neck. And there was reports that the bullet bounced off his bulletproof vest and it went right to the neck. No, that was a direct shot to the left artery of the neck. It's on different angles. There was no bouncing of the bullet up on the bulletproof vest. It was a shot directly to the neck. Unfortunately, Charlie could not survive it. I mean, there's no way anybody could have survived that. It was like instant death. The blood just poured out. We all saw the video. I don't mind showing the video because people have to see. They have to see what happened. They have to be reminded that Charlie Kirk was killed because of his freedom of speech, his freedom of expression. He was killed because he was a name, a big name, but he was killed by a left-wing radicalized lunatic. A guy that probably watches crap on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and was influenced poorly. That's why I'm not a big fan of giving kids computers and phones at such young ages, because that's how they get radicalized. And then he's dating a trans guy, a man who's becoming a woman, which is still a man. I mean, that's craziness. What happened to Charlie Kirk reminded me of Butler. Tyler was on the roof at 8:30 in the morning. How did anybody not see him? A lot of questions. And then, of course, you have people say, well, Charlie Kirk was controversial. His comments are the reason why he died. That's disgusting. What about the people that said awful things about President Trump? Nothing ever happened to them. No repercussions. President Trump deserves to get shot in the ear. He deserves to almost get killed at Mar-a-Lago. No way. Charlie Kirk did nothing wrong and should be alive today. President Trump did nothing wrong, should not have been shot. If we are all getting killed or have to worry about what we say, if all these people are so freaking sensitive, and they want to take our rights away from us, then we don't have a constitution. The Constitution is very clear. You have the right of freedom of speech. You have the right to assemble. You have the right of freedom of the press. You have the right of expression. And if you see the difference between us and them, we don't hurt businesses. We don't bomb cars. We don't start fires. We do peaceful protests, or we do vigils. We did not all go up in arms and start hurting people because of the death of Charlie Kirk. We honored his memory instead. That's the difference between us and them. Again, these people are paid to start havoc. These people are paid to be evil. These people are paid to do harm against you and against us. Right before the break, don't forget we have an affiliate sponsor, rncstore.com/ALL. We'll put that up right now. There you go. Richardson Nutritional Center. Immunity is your first line of defense. You have to use the code ALL or you don't get the discount. It's a 10% discount. It's all natural remedies. Please, guys, go to rncstore.com/ALL. rncstore.com. Put in ALL. That is your discount code. Of course, the more you spend, the more you get off. And I can tell you, I've used a lot of these supplements. They've helped me with my diet. They've helped me with my immunity. They've helped me with my cognitive ability. Please, guys, go to rncstore.com. John Richardson is on my show once a month to give you updates. We've had a lot of people that are a part of the Richardson Nutritional Center on my program. This is a great great supplements for everyday life. So again, go to rncstore.com/ALL. Type in ALL, the discount code, you get 10% off. Coming up after the break, guys, we're going to be delving into the people, administrators, police officers, even elected officials that have said horrible stuff about Charlie Kirk on their social media. and whether or not they still have a job or not. Stay with us, guys. We're coming back right after the break.
Hi, I'm Alexandra Levine. I'm a professional opera singer, actress, TV, and radio personality. Since 2015, I've been a volunteer, a field director, and a campaign manager, learning the ins and outs of the political world. That's why I became a political consultant. My job is to lead you to victory with organization, structure, and the mindset of winning for your district or state. With my guidance and direction, I can keep you focused on the things that matter to the people and advise you on key issues that need to be addressed. If you're a serious candidate that is serious about winning, then book a consultation with me today. Go to levineconsulting.co. You'll be happy you did.
Well, hey guys, welcome back to Alexandra Levine Live with the America's Pulse Network. You are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. I just want to thank my audience for being with me tonight. I see your comments. Thank you. Radio Telefono, great segment for these tough days. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. Again, thank you to my friend Donald Willinger, State Senator Doug Mastriano, my friend Ruth, and everybody else who's listening tonight, my friend Scott Rosenfeld and many others. We really appreciate it. Please click the like and subscribe. Please, guys, please follow us on all of our social media platforms. Not only are we on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on Truth Social, we're on Parler now, we are on TikTok now, and we're on the big social media outlets at America's Pulse Network. We're also on X at America's Pulse Network. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, if you're interested in sponsoring our show, if you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can message me anytime. You can go to our website at americaspulsenetwork.com, fill out the sponsorship form, and we will get back to you. We would love to have as many people involved in our network, in our podcast as much as possible. Our podcasts are growing, we're expanding, and we love doing this. And we love being the conservative media at the White House, as I am the White House correspondent for this network. And I'm very happy and privileged that Caroline Levitt gives me the honor and the privilege to report fairly about what's going on. That's why I'm reporting fairly tonight about Charlie Kirk and so forth. So segment 2 is about exposing the left. So as I said before the break, there's been a lot of people on Instagram, on X, that have said such heinous things and written such heinous things about Charlie Kirk, blaming him for his own death, saying, thank God that he's dead, praising his death. And we have encouraged people to contact the FBI. It's 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can tweet them and show the FBI and the DOJ all of these messages from all of these people. It's coming from law enforcement officers, former Secret Service agents. It's coming from teachers. It's coming from plumbers, anyone in the workforce. It's also coming from elected officials, which is even more disgusting. Today on Capitol Hill, they're calling for a vote to remove Congresswoman Ilhan Omar from all of her committees. To me, that's not enough. She needs to be removed from Congress permanently. I've said that for years. I've said this since 2019 when I did my first big Jexit rally with my Jexit organization in May 2019, calling for the removal of her from Congress. You don't just censor the woman, you remove her permanently. Take her back to Somalia, revoke her American citizenship, and have her and deport her back to Somalia. That's where she needs to go. Same thing with that guy Mondami, take him back to Uganda, and so forth. Yeah, nurses, doctors, etc. They're all speaking ill about Charlie Kirk. These are the same people that spoke ill about Donald Trump. But the good news is that justice is being done. All these people that have written ill things about Charlie Kirk, they've been fired, not just demoted, but actually fired. And it's so funny to watch on TikTok all these videos of these left-wing morons freaking out because they got fired from their job. Like, oh my God, how am I supposed to pay my rent? Oh my God, I have no job. Oh my God, oh my God. Well, you shouldn't talk about Charlie Kirk. In Judaism, it's against Jewish law to speak ill of the dead. And it's against Jewish law to speak ill about anybody. It's probably in the Christian law as well. But in Judeo-Christian values, you do not speak ill of anyone, even if you don't like them. You keep it to yourself, but you never wish ill on anyone. You never wish death on anyone either. Let's put up the first slide. So this is a congresswoman. This is from my friends, the Libs of TikTok. Libs of TikTok is actually run by a Jewish woman, by the way. So Colorado State Representative Lorena Garcia, she demonizes and defames Charlie Kirk. She says awful, heinous things about him. What a POS. And there have been calls for her to step down and for her to be fired. Now, I'll give you breaking news on that if she was fired or asked to resign. But I know that libs of TikTok and many other people have called the state house of Colorado, and they've asked for her to be removed. Not just for her to resign, but to be permanently removed. And now we go to the second slide. This guy's name is Chris Skoland. He's a teacher at Roosevelt High School in Minnesota. He made a post online mocking Charlie Kirk after he was assassinated and blames Charlie for his own death. This person teaches your children. You have a teacher like this? Remember, political bias is pushed heavily into the classroom. That's what radicalized probably Tyler Robinson and many others, and it's radicalized a lot of young kids. That's why we have a lot of these school shooters are all radicalized by their teachers, superintendents and principals, etc. So this teacher said that Charlie Kirk deserved it. Like, quote, he had it coming because of his own words. I can tell you that there's been calls to remove that teacher, to revoke his teaching license. A lot of these teachers that are speaking ill of Charlie Kirk, their teaching licenses have been not suspended, but actually revoked. They can't teach anymore. And they've been fired from their jobs. And it sucks because when you're a teacher, you have a pension, especially if you're a teacher that's been working for 10, 20, 30 years. It's disgusting. That's why a lot of parents homeschool their children. It's the truth. But a lot of these people are from liberal states, liberal counties, liberal cities. Third slide. Ashley Creekbam. She's a police officer. Or sorry, not a police officer, a New Orleans firefighter. New Orleans, very liberal city in Louisiana. She wrote, and I quote her directly, "I think Charlie Kirk should be forced to carry that bullet in his body. That bullet has a right to be there. It's a gift from God." That's what Ashley Creekbaum wrote. She wrote, "I think Charlie Kirk should be forced to carry that bullet in his body. That bullet has a right to be there. It's a gift from God." I heard she's been removed from the force. Again, her pension has been taken. She doesn't have a pension. You don't ask these people to resign or step down or tell them to quit. You fire them, you take their pensions from them. Again, you do not wish ill on another human being. I can tell you there's people in Maryland, they've been fired for their comments. There's people in Arizona, Nevada, Oklahoma. And I push this to my audience. If you see any of these TikTok posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts of people saying ill things about Charlie Kirk. Now, a lot of these people have deleted their stuff, but sometimes you can catch it before they delete it. If you see any of this, go to 1-800-CALL-FBI. Take it to the FBI, report it. Take it to the DOJ, report it. They do see it. Charlie Kirk said he got 11,000 people with videos and footage of Tyler Robinson. He said if it wasn't for those people, we might not have found him. He thanks the American people, especially for being on top of this, because it's important. Charlie Kirk was a friend of his too. He said, "Rest now, brother. We have the watch. I'll see you in Valhalla." That was like such a touching line that he said. I almost cried. And I've been crying all week about the death of Charlie Kirk. For those of you who don't know, I knew Charlie Kirk very well. I met him multiple times at Turning Point USA events and even CPAC. I got to talk to him face to face. His love for Israel and the Jewish people was very paramount and very apparent. And his love for Judeo-Christian values. My Jexit organization with my spokesperson, Siggy Flicker, she also emphasized his love for Israel and the Jewish people. Not like his counterpart, Candace Owens, who has the audacity to blame the Jews for his death, including the Mossad. And Charlie Kirk at one point told her that her comments were egregious, and he thought she was demonic. He did not support her attacks against Israel. And it's funny because he took her to Israel for the unveiling of the new embassy in Jerusalem, which I used to live near, by the way. It's off of Koresh Street. It's in the German colony. It's right near where the Prime Minister of Israel lives. For her to go on Turning Point USA's dime, and she acted so excited to be there in Israel, and talked about being in Israel and working with Dennis Prager and working with Ben Shapiro, and then turns on the Jews and has the audacity to say that the Jews are the reason why he's dead. That the Jews had something to do with it, and Charlie made a lot of business deals with Israelis and Jews, and that's why he's dead. Like he was involved with the Jewish mob or the Israeli mob. Disgusting. It's not true. These are it's very hateful rhetoric. Or when someone just assumes because I'm Jewish that I'm connected with the Rothschilds, and that my family are Jewish bankers pushing Jewish propaganda. I mean, that crap was said about me recently, which is not true. It's a lie. Just because I'm Jewish doesn't mean I'm associated with every Jew on the market. Not all Jews are alike, by the way. The stereotypes need to be removed. Not all Jews are conservatives either. I'm a very observant Jew. I'm a very traditional Jew. I'm a very conservative Jew. I'm a MAGA Jew. It's very rare. That's why I say Stephen Miller, Lee Zeldin, those are my Jews. Jamie Raskin, who endorsed that anti-Semite in New York, Wandami, is not my Jew. Adam Schiff is hashtag not my Jew. Chuck Schumer, hashtag not a true Jew. Jerry Nadler, hashtag not a true Jew. These Jews do not define who I am. They do not define me and they do not represent me. Bernie Sanders, forget it. Anti-Jew Jew. George Soros, anti-Jew Jew. Do not put me in the same category as those people. A lot of people have beef with the Rothschilds. I'm not related to the Rothschilds. Rothschilds have been in business since the 1600s. Rothschilds did things for survival. Yes, they do control the World Bank. And that's where the stereotype of Jews comes in. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm involved with them. Yeah, Donald Willinger's right. We Jews come in all flavors, colors, shapes, and sizes. That's correct. He's right. So don't put us in all in one category. Because if you really know me, if you really got to know me, I'm nothing like the Soroses of this world. Not even close. But these are things that liberals say that trigger people to shoot Jews, to hurt Christians. And the things that these people wrote on their Facebooks and Instagrams and TikToks and X accounts do have meaning and do trigger people to do heinous things like kill Charlie Kirk or try to kill Donald Trump. I can tell you that President Trump has upped his security since this shooting, since this assassination, and his children's security. He has to. The worst thing in the world is to bury your son. The worst thing in the world. His father was so distraught. His father screamed out, "I want my son back. I want my son back," as he's holding his son's last picture. Erica Trump, she posted pictures of Charlie in his coffin in his suit, laying there, lifeless. I don't know what I would do if my husband was assassinated, God forbid. If I was married and my husband was assassinated, I don't know what I would do. It's insane. Insane. All I want to know is, how did these people sleep at night? Have they ever asked themselves, how did these people sleep at night, writing the things that they wrote? Because Erica Kirk will never sleep the same again. She will go home every night without her husband next to her, without her husband by her side. Do these people know the agony she's going through? I don't think they do. They don't have a clue. They really don't have a clue. But again, if you see any of these people or anybody that writes horrible things about Charlie Kirk, report it to the FBI, report to the DOJ, make these quote people famous and post it all over social media, and they will be taken care of. I can tell you that I've already gotten 15 people fired. I know people that have gotten 20 people fired, 30 people fired. Keep it up and keep it going. Do not let these people control the narrative. We sit back and we do nothing, they win. We sit back and we are silenced, or we silence ourselves, they win. They win. I don't want us to be silenced. I want us to continue going out. I want us to continue going to vigils, creating vigils. Do not be afraid. I know so many people that are afraid to go to events now. That's what the left wants. Just like they scared us with COVID. Can't go to church, can't do this, can't do that. The hell? Why even live if you can't be yourself? These people are sleeping well at night. These damn Democrats, these radicalized morons, they're sleeping well at night. I'm sure that Tyler Robinson guy is sleeping well tonight in his cell because he did his job. He murdered Charlie Kirk. That was his job. He got the money. He doesn't care if he dies from it. He did what he had to do. He did what he was paid to do. Even if he rotted in prison for the rest of his life, he got his justice. We can't allow that. We can't allow the Tyler Robinsons of this world to win. We have to defeat them every single day. We have to shut their voices down like they shut our voices down. Enough is enough. On a separate note, I just want to say thank you to the many people out there who have given me a voice again, a singing voice. As you know, I'm an nationally renowned opera singer. I've had an extensive operatic career half my life until Barack Hussein Obama became the president and destroyed that life. And then Biden came in and destroyed it again. But thanks to state representatives, congressmen, governors, people on President Trump's team, people I work with, they have given me a voice and they've asked me to sing at events, and I will be singing at big major theaters again and arenas. I'm getting back into the Kennedy Center. I'm getting back into a lot of opera houses all over the nation and the world that I used to perform in, because they do not require vaccine mandations anymore, or COVID lockdowns, or any of this other crap. My opera career was cut short under the Biden years because of the COVID-19 vaccine mandations. I had to have a vaccine card everywhere I went, and I decided to choose my life over unconstitutional crap. For those of you who have never heard me sing, please go to my operatic website, alexandra-levine.com. That's alexandra-levine.com. You can hear me sing. You can also follow me on my YouTube at Levine Consulting. You can see all of my singing events. You can hear me singing with the State Senator Doug Mastriano. You can hear me singing at multiple events, whether it's a political event or a rally. I'm always asked to sing now everywhere I go. There's a recent picture that I put up of myself singing at Carnegie Hall in 2013. I will be singing at Carnegie Hall again. When the New York City Opera closed down, it was like, oh my God. The reality hit. When my friend Greg Cannell, the executive director of the Kennedy Center, said there's no money there, I knew it. There's no money in any of these opera houses because the left took over them and wokeness creeped into the opera and the arts. I lost a lot of jobs due to transgenders. They hired a transgender female, which is really a male, to play main women's roles. They hired extremely obese people when opera is about image. I always taught you have to be thin to sing something for 3-4 hours. When you're 500 pounds, how do you have the strength? And I can tell you, all these people that got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 jabs, they can't breathe. And when they all collapse on the stage, who do you think they're going to call? They're going to call me. because they need singers. I know that my friends that have gotten the jabs, they told me that they can't sing as well as they used to. They don't have the strength or the stamina anymore. They can't breathe. As a singer, you must breathe. So I'm proud of myself for not getting sucked into the propaganda of the jabs. I'm proud that I chose my life because I want to have children. And if you get jabs, you're least likely to have children. It's a very low percentage. They're finding out that pregnant women that took the jabs have a lot of problems. Their children have problems, or they had a lot of miscarriages and stillborns due to the vaccines. A lot of scientific evidence now that's coming out how terrible the vaccines were for people's bodies. I feel bad for the people that took the jabs. I know people that took the jabs and deeply regret it. But I will be going back into the main operatic amphitheaters and the main operatic stages, and I will let you know when that happens. But I never gave up singing. I will never give up singing. It is a part of who I am. So please, guys, I encourage you all to follow me on my Facebook, watch me singing, follow me on my X, follow me on my YouTube, go to alexandra-levine.com, listen to something beautiful, listen to something pure, listen to God's gift, and be happy. Coming after the break, there has been a lot of Charlie Kirk vigils happening all over the country, and we're going to bring you to a recent one that happened this past Sunday in Maryland, and we will be right back. Please stay with us. Again, my show is a tribute to Charlie Kirk. This show is in honor of Charlie Kirk tonight. My shows will be in honor of Charlie Kirk for a long time. So please, guys, stay with me. We will be right back after the break.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent, Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this. And we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody. And God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
Well, hello, everyone. Hello. I'm Alexandra Levine live with the America's Pulse Network. Again, we are all in tonight with me, Alexandra Levine. I dedicate my show tonight to Charlie Kirk, to Charlie Kirk's memory. So I applaud everybody in this country that is putting together Charlie Kirk vigils. There was a big one that happened in D.C. Sunday night, and there's going to be a vigil coming up in Frederick County, Maryland, actually Frederick City at Baker Park. My friend Fred Profiter, who runs the Frederick County Conservative Club, is putting it together. I've done many events in Baker Park. It is a safe park. You will have multiple cops and police there, and that's happening Thursday night at 7 p.m. with Seth Eisenberg, who's the vice president and treasurer of the Frederick County Conservative Club. Our friend Seth Eisenberg from the Conservative Corner will be there, and many others. And I know there's vigils going on in Ohio, September 21st, and all over the country. So if you want to know where a vigil is near you, get involved with your GOP, get involved with some Republican clubs or any clubs in the area. And of course, they're always blasted on Facebook and X. And I was in Pittsburgh this last weekend. We are focused on combining Christianity and Judaism to Charlie Kirk and how he loved both religions and how both religions need to work together and how it's not one over the other. We are intertwined. The Jewish people, I need my Christian brothers and sisters with me to continue on Charlie Kirk's legacy. As I told you before, Charlie Kirk was a big friend to Israel and to the Jewish people. Bibi Netanyahu, Prime Minister Netanyahu, even wrote a beautiful X about Charlie Kirk and about Charlie Kirk's love for Israel. He actually invited Charlie Kirk to come to Israel in the next couple of weeks. And of course, Charlie can't be there because he's no longer alive, which is, a shame. But I mean, the Prime Minister of Israel had a very close relationship with Charlie Kirk, and it did eat him up when he found out that he was murdered. So, guys, please, It's not that hard to create a vigil. People have asked me to create vigils. It's not that hard. But I can tell you on Sunday night at 7 p.m. in Dundalk, Maryland, in front of the Boulevard Diner, they had over 400 people at this vigil that our good friend, elected official Tim Fazenbaker, hosted with his friend Michael Fox. They both hosted it together. They put it together in a very short period of time. Everybody had candles. Everybody was there. And there was people that came from not just Maryland, but from outside of the state. They came from West Virginia, Pennsylvania, other parts of the county. It was a beautiful moment. Let's show some pictures. So that's the first picture in front. Let's show the next one. That shows the back end of the event. And you'll see a panoramic view of it. This was about, I would say 7:30 at night as the sun was going down. The vigil was only supposed to be a half hour. People stayed for 2 hours. It was incredible, an incredible moment. Let's see the next picture. Yep, there we are with the candles. That's another great panoramic view. See, look how far back it goes to all those people that were there. Again, over 400 people came from all over the country, or excuse me, I should say all over the Mid-Atlantic. Let's see the next picture. And then that's, again, elected official Tim Fazenbaker with our friend Billy, TF Bill. Billy is amazing. He owns a motorcycle. He's working with a lot of elected officials. We are so happy that he was there and that he was able to be a part of this. And I want you guys to hear a clip of Tim speaking at the event. It was a very powerful part of his speech at the event. Let's play the clip.
And we see all around the world that he's been talking, that people have been talking about what he did for them, that he made men again. He made people spiritual again. He made people talk. Instead of just fighting, he tried to have open conversation, which is something we need to do. They took that away from him thinking that would stop him, but it made all of us, as the sign I just saw, I am Charlie Kirk. And forevermore, he will be a martyr because people will remember it. He'll be in the history books. Because it wasn't about just himself, it was about the movement of being a good person, of listening and trying to work out issues. That is what we need more of in this country.
He is so right. And that's Tim Fazenbaker right there. He is so 100% on the money about who Charlie Kirk was. That's why he said we're all Charlie Kirks. What Tim Fazenbaker did, what he put together with Michael Fox, will be in the history books. It was phenomenal what he did to honor that man. It was a beautiful day in Dundalk, Maryland, in front of the Boulevard Diner. And the Boulevard Diner actually got threats. They got threats for having this event, and the diner wasn't even a part of this event. They're like, this is not our event. This is the people's event. It just happens to be in front of our diner, but don't blame us. Don't come after us. And Tim made that very known that this was an event for the people to honor and memorialize Charlie Kirk. I am so proud of Tim for putting this together with Michael Fox. I'm proud of anybody that puts a candlelight vigil for Charlie Kirk around this country. Tim got major press that day from Fox 45, and there was a half-hour long wait just to take a picture with Tim. People said, what a good Samaritan Tim is for doing this. A lot of other elected officials were silent. A lot of elected officials in the area didn't even show up. That tells you something. And let me tell you something about Tim. He does this out of the kindness of his heart. He does not do this for media attention or for votes. He does it out of the kindness of his heart, because that's the type of man that he is and has always been. I can tell you, I've worked with Tim for 6 years. It is a privilege to work with Tim because I see how he touches people's lives and what he does for his community and how he loves his community and how he will always work for the people, not the other way around. He listens to the people, and multiple constituents have been messaging him and texting him saying, thank you for this. And Tim is always like, here's my name or here's my number, follow me on social media, you can call me, you can text me, let me know how I can help you. And they do it. And a lot of people have emailed him thanking him for this vigil. I thank him for this vigil. It was incredible what he did. Let's show some other pictures. And that's Tim with Michael Fox. So Michael Fox is the other guy that put the event together with Tim. He asked him, he said, hey, I need your help. I'm putting this vigil together. And Tim's like, I'll come and help you and I'll MC it, which he did. Because that's who Tim is. He helps people. Again, he did not do this for fame and political gain. He did this because it was the right thing to do. And yes, Tim will be back on this show. Tim is also a major force in his community. He also is a special guest on the show The Pulse. And Tim is going to multiple churches across his area and connecting with the people and speaking to a lot of pastors and listening to them. And Tim will continue to keep Charlie Kirk's name alive. Let's see another picture. Yep. And speaking of Tim, as you know, he is running for Baltimore County Council District 9. It is a new district. It is an America First MAGA district. It's Sparrows Point. It's Edgemere. It's Dundalk. Tim can do a lot more if he is your next county councilman. And it is his to win. There's nobody else that can beat him. Especially after what he did on Sunday night. To me, that solidified his win. Because again, nobody else in the area that are elected officials came out. The rhinos certainly didn't come out. People that want to run against Tim, they didn't come out. Where were they? They were silent. But Tim wasn't silent. Charlie Kirk is going to be on the ballot in June of next year with the primary and in November in the general. When you go to vote for Tim, think about what he did on Sunday night. You can follow him at America One Tim Faze on X. You can follow him on Facebook, Tim Fazenbaker. He's also on Instagram at Tim Faze and True Social at Tim Faze. Please, guys, go to timfazenbaker.com to make a donation. People are giving him hundreds of thousands of dollars. They want him in office. And you can always go on his website, timfazenbaker.com, and you can email him, tim@timfazenbaker.com. That's tim@timfazenbaker.com. Email him about any concerns you have in the area. And also, I'm working with a couple other ladies in New Jersey. They're amazing ladies, Constance Ditzel and Nilsa Gonzalez. We'll pull them up. There you go, candidates for New Jersey Assembly, LD number 5. They are America First conservative candidates. They're running together. They are wonderful ladies. I enjoy working with them. You can follow them on their social medias on Facebook, Ditzel and Gonzalez for State Assembly. Follow them on Instagram, Ditzel and Gonzalez, and also on their X at Connie4, the number 4 NJ, at Connie, the number 4 NJ. Wonderful ladies. They are supported by Jack Schiffarelli, who's running for governor of New Jersey. They do a lot of events with him. As you know, Jack Schiffarelli was endorsed by President Trump not once but twice. He is the governor that needs to win. He's the Republican nominee. We want to make New Jersey red again. We need to put as many conservatives in New Jersey as possible, many conservatives in Maryland as possible, many conservatives in these Democrat districts and Democrat states. We need a Republican governor back in New Jersey. And we need Republicans back in New Jersey. That's why it's important to put Constance Ditzel and Nilsa Gonzalez in these assembly seats. And our friend Pete, he's also running for assembly as well. I think he's in LD number 4, And he's in a very strong assembly seat right now, or a very strong race to win his seat. But please, guys, it's very important we put the right people in office. Get these rhinos out. Get these Democrat socialists out. And of course, we have our good friend Seth Eisenberg of the Conservative Corner. He has a GoFundMe. He's raised over $6,600. It's Seth Eisenberg. It's actually help by donating to Jonah Eisenberg /help/crisis. I actually promoted it on Facebook today. Please, guys, every dollar you give saves this veteran. He almost lost his foot. He was in the hospital for over a month. He literally almost lost his foot. He had a very bad staph infection. And he served our nation. So instead of giving it to illegal aliens and murderers and criminals and God knows what, give to Seth Eisenberg. Give him $100, $150, $200. We've had a lot of veterans that have given money to him. Again, we love Seth. We want him literally back on his feet. He's got bills to pay. He's got a son, a 15-year-old son, Ryan, he takes care of. And he's a good man. And we love him. And speaking of Seth Eisenberg, don't forget to follow him on Facebook at The Conservative Corner and on X at Conservative Seth. And don't forget to watch him on his show, The Conservative Corner, every Sunday night from 7 to 8:30 p.m. That's 7 to 8:30 p.m. We always say viewer discretion is advised. He is our Popeye the Sailor Man. We love Seth. And don't forget, we also have Damon Galdo with the Jersey Shore every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. and every Friday night from 8 to 9 p.m. You can follow Damon Galdo on his X at Damon Galdo and Facebook at Damon Galdo. And we're also expanding our podcasters. We are going to have new shows coming up in the next week. I will be giving you an update about that this coming week. But we're going to have some brand new shows, new podcasters. Our Saturdays are going to be filled now. I mean, we're literally podcasting Monday through Sunday. 7 days a week. That's how it rolls. As you know, I'm on 2 days a week, and then we do the Pulse every Wednesday night where sometimes I'm hosting, sometimes I'm on it as a guest. And don't forget, guys, tomorrow night. Oh my God, sorry, tomorrow night. Wednesday night is the Pulse from 8 to 9 p.m. Damon Galdo is hosting. Seth will be on there. A lot of people will be on there. We have Elena Barber, the base mother. She'll be on there. So don't forget to watch the Pulse tomorrow night from 8 to 9 p.m. Amazing show. We have a 5-people panel with 5 different opinions. We talk about current events. We talk about a lot of other things. So please, guys, don't forget to watch the Pulse. The Pulse is one of our best shows right now. It's up. It's newer. It's a newer show, but we do great with it, and we get a lot of buzz with it. And again, guys, don't forget to follow us on X at America's Pulse Network, on YouTube at America's Pulse Network. We're on Truth Social. We're on Parler. We're on TikTok now, and Rumble. And of course, don't forget to follow me, Alexandra Levine, on Facebook at Alexandra Levi 20 on X, at Air Levine 85 on Instagram, at Air Levine 85 on Rumble, at Air Levine 85 on True Social, at Air Levine 85 on Parler, at Air Levine 85 on TikTok, at Levine Consulting on YouTube. And don't forget to watch me on Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. Thank you guys for watching. Again, thank you to all of my viewers tonight. I know there was a lot of people that didn't comment that watched. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate you coming on and being a part of our network. And again, the reason you listen and the reason you watch is you are no idiot.
America's Pulse Network. The mainstream media is bought and paid for. The truth is twisted to fit their agenda. But America is waking up because podcasts are the future for trusted media. Welcome to the America's Pulse Network. It is a network built by patriots that upholds the Constitution. The America's Pulse Network stands for God, truth, and the America First movement. There is no corporate propaganda, no government spin, just real news, real talk, and real voices fighting for faith, freedom, and the future of this great nation with common sense. Here are some of America's Pulse Network podcasts. Alexandra Levine Live, hosted by Alexandra Levine. Jersey Shore Podcast, hosted by Damon Galdo. The Conservative Corner, hosted by Seth Eisenberg. APN's The Pulse, hosted by Alexandra, Damon, and Seth. So tune into America's Pulse Network on the following social media platforms: X/Twitter, Rumble, Truth Social, Facebook, and YouTube. Join the revolution. Because the pulse of America beats for God and country. America's Pulse Network is for faith, family, freedom, and truth.
Conservative Corner Podcast. Hoist the standard. Stand fast and sail with Captain Seth Eisenberg every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yo, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and
some are alive, and others sail on the sea, with the keys to the cage and the devil to